Hello students, this video is part 2 on motion in a plane. In part 1 video, we have discussed what is scalar, vector, tensor quantities and 11 different types of vectors. So we'll see rest of the topics in this video. Students, let us see the content of this video. First topic is addition of vectors. So in addition of vectors, we are going to see triangular law, parallelogram law and polygon law of additions. And then we're going to see properties of vector addition. Okay students, now we'll see addition of vectors. Okay, so in addition of vectors, we have a graphical method, 3 types of graphical methods. As I told you, triangular law, parallelogram law and polygon law. Okay, so let us see one by one. Two vectors can be added if both of them are of same nature. Okay, so once if both the vectors are of same nature, the vector can be added. For example, a displacement vector cannot be added to a force but can be added to displacement vector. Okay, hope you understood this. So two vectors can be added if both of them are of same nature. So graphical method of addition of vectors help us in visualizing the vectors and the resultant vectors. So as I told you, we have 3 types of graphical method of addition. So let us see the first type, triangular law of addition. So what is the statement of this law? So this law states that if two vectors can be represented both in magnitude and direction by the two sides of a triangle taken in the same order, then the resultant is represented completely both in magnitude and direction by the third side of a triangle taken in the opposite order. I think it is a bit confusing to you. Let me explain with diagrams so that it will be easy to understand to you. So let us see this. Consider two vectors A and B. So these two vectors that lie in a plane as shown in figure. So look at the diagram students. Draw a vector OP equal and parallel to vector A as shown in figure. Right? From the head of OP, draw a vector PQ equal and parallel to vector B. Then the resultant vector is given by OQ, isn't it? Which joins the tail of A and head of B. Hope you understood this. So what I did? So vector A, I have taken two vectors A and B. So I'm going to draw some parallel vector which is equal and parallel vector to a vector A, that is nothing but OP. And I'm going to take another vector PQ which is parallel and equal to vector B. Okay. And I'm going to join these two vectors. Look at the diagram students. We have two parts in a vector. See, this part is tail, right? And this part is head. So tail of vector A and this is head of vector A. Okay. So how the resultant vector will be? So that resultant vector will join tail of vector A and head of vector B. So this will be the resultant vector OQ. So this resultant is nothing but addition of the two vectors A and B. Okay. So how can we represent OP? It is another vector we considered along A vector and PQ along B vector. Okay. The sum of the resultant of A and B is represented by the vector OQ joining tail of OP to the head of PQ. So while adding these two vectors OP plus PQ, you will get OQ. So this is nothing but resultant vector OQ. So OQ equal to vector A plus vector B. See, this is nothing but your triangular law of vector. So shall we read the statement again? if two vectors acting at a point are represented in magnitude and direction by the two sides of the triangle taken in one order, then their resultant is represented by the third side of the triangle taken in the opposite order. Hope you understood this, students. Okay, students, we'll see a small numerical. A boy travels 10 meters in north and then 7 meters in east direction. Find the displacement and direction of the boy. Okay, shall we do this? So first he is going to move from the origin. See, this is his initial position. Okay, so from origin he is going to move 10 meters towards north direction. Okay, and then 7 meters in east direction. Find the displacement and direction. This is your question. Okay, so first from initial position origin to A, point A, distance traveled is 10 meters towards north direction. And from A to B, this is not OB, this is AB. Okay, so from A to B, he is taking 7 meters displacement in east direction. Okay, so according to triangular law of addition, OB is the resultant displacement, isn't it? So the third phase of the triangle, okay, is the resultant displacement. So shall we find the magnitude of the resultant displacement, students? So what is the magnitude I told you? OB. Okay, so by using Pythagoras theorem, you can simplify this. So what is OB? OB is nothing but square root of OA squared plus OB squared, isn't it? So what is OA? OA is 10 meters and OB is, this is not OB, AB. AB is 7. Okay, so square root of 100 plus 49 is 149. So while taking square root, you will get 12.21 meters. Okay, so this is what? This is magnitude of resultant displacement. Okay, and the resultant displacement makes an angle theta with the north direction. Look at the diagram. There is an angle of displacement. So we need to find the direction. So first we found the displacement. Okay, the magnitude of the resultant displacement. And now we have to calculate the direction. Isn't it? Right. So to find theta with the north direction, then what is the formula to find theta? See, your opposite to theta is given. What is opposite? 7 meters. So 7 meters is just opposite to the theta. And adjacent side of theta is 10 meters. So what is the formula? Tan theta equal to opposite by adjacent. Use that relationship, trigonometry relationship. I repeat, tan theta equal to opposite by adjacent. So what is your opposite side? AB. Adjacent is OA. So what is theta? Tan inverse of AB by OA. So tan inverse of 7 by 10 is 35 degree. So this is your angle of inclination towards north direction. Okay, hope you understood this. Students, let us see the second graphical method of addition. It is nothing but parallelogram law of vectors. Okay, so what is the statement? Let us see. If two vectors acting at a point. Okay, so from a point, two vectors are going to act. So this is your vector A, this is vector B from a particular point. Okay, let me take this point as O. Okay, if two vectors acting at a point are represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of the parallelogram. Okay, if two vectors, so vector means it will specify both magnitude and direction, isn't it? So both the vectors are going to act from a particular point by the two adjacent sides of the parallelogram. See these two sides of the parallelogram. Okay. Then their resultant, where the resultant will be, then their resultant is represented in magnitude and direction by the diagonal of the parallelogram. See, this is your diagonal. Okay. Now the resultant, where the resultant will be, at the diagonal of the parallelogram. Okay. So what we saw in triangular law of vector, if two sides of the triangle are the two vectors, then the resultant will be the third side of the triangle, isn't it? Do you remember that? And what about the parallelogram law of vector? If two vectors acting at a point, okay, so from a particular point, the two vectors are going to act, okay, and these two vectors are nothing but the two adjacent sides of the parallelogram. And now where the resultant will be, at the diagonal of the parallelogram. So this is your parallelogram law of vector. This is your third law of addition. Okay, so that is polygon law of vector. Shall we see the statement, students? If a number of vectors are represented both in magnitude and direction by the sides of a polygon. What do you mean by polygon? Poly means many. Okay, so a particular structure, it has many sides, right? So if a number of vectors, I repeat, if a number of vectors are represented both in magnitude and direction by the sides of a polygon taken in the same order, then the resultant vector is represented both in magnitude and direction by the closing side of the polygon taken in the opposite order. Okay, what do you understand, students? Let me explain with the diagram. So look at the diagram. So from point O to A, we have a vector P, right? And from A to B, we have a vector Q. Then where will be the resultant? By using triangular law of addition, as per triangular law of addition, the resultant will be the third side of the triangle, isn't it? So this will be the resultant. Okay, so OB will be the resultant. So R is equal to vector P plus vector Q, right? And if you are adding a third side, another side BC, so this will be represented by R vector. Now what will be the resultant vector? R is equal to, so this resultant, okay, so this resultant plus this vector. Okay, now the resultant will be P plus Q plus R. Is that clear? And from O to D, from O to C, we have a resultant vector, and from C to D, if you add another vector S, means what will be the resultant? Resultant R is equal to P plus Q plus R plus S. Okay, and if you add another vector T from point D to E, then what will be the resultant? R equal to P plus Q plus R plus S plus T. So this will be the closing side of the polygon. Do you understand now? So I am reading the statement again. If a number of vectors are represented both in magnitude and direction by the sides of a polygon taken in the same order, then the resultant vector is represented both in magnitude and direction by the closing side of the polygon taken in the opposite order. See, this is your polygon law of vector, students. So far, students, we have discussed what is the addition of vectors. What are all the addition of vector laws, isn't it? So graphical methods, three types of graphical method of addition we saw. Triangular law, parallelogram law, and polygon law of addition. Okay, and now we'll see addition of vectors by using analytical method. Okay, So what is this? If two vectors A and B acting at a point are inclined at an angle theta, then their resultant will be R equal to square root of A squared plus B squared plus 2AB cos theta. See, this formula is very important for your numericals, right? So what is the difference? If two vectors A and B acting at a point are inclined at an angle theta. So if theta is involved, what will be the resultant? R equal to square root of A squared plus B squared plus 2AB cos theta. Right. And look at the second point. If the resultant vector R subtends an angle beta with vector A, then what is the tan beta? Okay, or beta. Beta will gives you the direction of the vector. So what is beta? Tan inverse of B sin theta divided by A plus B cos theta. Okay, so what is the difference, students? Earlier we solved the graphical method. What is the resultant we saw by using triangular law, polygon law and parallelogram law. Okay, so what is the difference here? This is your analytical method if theta is involved. Okay, if particular vector is inclined with an angle theta. Okay, so what will be the resultant and the direction of the vector? Is that clear to you? Okay, and we have three conditions, students. So let me explain this. So when theta equal to 0 degree, when theta equal to 0 degree, then what will be the resultant? Substitute theta equal to 0 in this formula. Okay, so if cos theta is 0, what is cos theta? Cos 0? Cos 0 is correct, 1, isn't it? So R equal to, substitute theta equal to 0, okay, in the resultant formula. So what will be the formula? R equal to square root of A squared plus B squared plus 2AB, whereas cos 0 will be 1. Okay, so what will be the resultant? Square root of A squared plus B squared plus 2AB. So according to your mathematical formula, what is the formula? A plus B the whole squared, isn't it? So A plus B the whole squared will be equal to A squared plus B squared plus 2AB. So can we substitute this square root of A plus B the whole square? So the squared and the square root will get cancelled. Then what will be the resultant? A plus B. Am I clear to you? So the resultant will be equal to A plus B. See, this is the condition for getting the maximum resultant. Is that clear? Maximum resultant in the sense what? Magnitude. So where you will get a maximum magnitude when theta equal to 0. Right? So this is your first condition. And look at the second condition. If theta equal to 90 degree, what will be the resultant? R equal to square root of A squared plus B squared plus 2AB cos 90. What is cos 90? 0, isn't it? So the remaining terms I'll write here. Square root of A squared plus B squared. Okay, right? So if theta equal to 90 degree, the resultant will be square root of A squared plus B squared. Okay, now let me explain the third condition. When theta equal to 180 degree, okay, angle of inclination between the two vectors is 180 degree. What will be the resultant? R equal to, what is cos? So what will be the resultant, students? Cos 180, if you substitute, resultant will be A minus B. Am I clear? So A minus B. So this is the condition where you will get a minimum magnitude. Okay, hope you understood this. So what we saw? Addition of vectors by analytical method. Okay, right? So what will be the resultant? So what is analytical method? If you are considering angle of inclination between the two vectors, what will be the resultant? What will be the, resultant magnitude, and what will be the resultant direction? Okay, so what is the magnitude? R equal to square root of a squared plus b squared plus 2ab cos theta. And what is the direction? Beta equal to b sin theta divided by a plus b cos theta. Okay, and we solved three conditions. If theta equal to 0 degree, what is the resultant magnitude? A plus b. So where you will get a maximum magnitude. And if theta equal to 90 degree, resultant will be square root of a squared plus b squared. If theta equal to 180 degree, resultant equal to a minus b. So this is the condition for getting the minimum magnitude. Okay, let us see the properties of vector addition, students. The first property is vector addition is commutative. That is a plus b equal to b plus a. Then second property, vector addition is associative. That is a plus b plus c is equal to b plus c plus a. Okay, and c plus a plus b. So this nature is nothing but associative nature. And look at the third property, vector addition is distributive. M into a plus b is equal to ma plus mb. Okay, so these three are the properties of vector addition. Students, in this video, we have discussed about addition of vectors by using graphical method and analytical method, right? So I'll cover rest of the topics in my next video, students. Thank you.